What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 3. So we pick up talking about the plastic surgery. Wendy is making a valid point about she didn't have no plastic surgery to hold on to her husband. She said, Giselle, you had a tummy tuck. Did that help you keep Jamal? And Giselle was like, but I ain't have a tummy tuck to keep a man. I had a tummy tuck because I had twins. And Wendy was like, exactly. I got my titties done because I fed 3 churn. So then here come Mia. Well, is that why you got your butt done too? Wendy was like, girl, nobody was talking to you. I don't even know why you in this conversation. So then they went on to talk about what happened down to the house. And again, honestly, I feel like I understood why Wendy got upset to a certain extent. I didn't understand I said it then and I said now. It just seemed like she went way. Again, I enjoyed the read she gave Giselle, but I still feel like it was an extreme response. And Robin actually brought up a good point. Robin said, listen, you act like I didn't know what was going on. And that's when she brought out the whole damn text message that she put on a big ass board. I was like, Wendy, you are doing a lot right now. Like, now I'm starting to feel like you putting up a little bit too much of a protest. Annie, was you really creeping with the women? Because you're doing a lot. Because Robin brought up a good point. Y'all know I don't like giving the child. But Robin said, I knew about the rumors about Eddie. But I thought this was something new because we knew the rumors weren't true. We knew it was from a blog that was unreliable. So I thought y'all was talking about something new. And that's why I didn't know what was going on. And then she was like, you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to believe that you didn't know what your best friend was up to? Now, let's be clear. Robin and Giselle, y'all did have a whole conversation about the Eddie rumors up in the room earlier the day before. But in that moment, let's remember Robin was drunk. So you bringing that whole text message. Robin was never saying that she didn't know about the Eddie rumors to begin with, but she thought it was another rumor. And Wendy was like, there were no more rumors. There were no more rumors. Okay, there may not have been no more rumors, but that's what Robin said. And it's a valid point. It's a valid argument. Now, Giselle, at the end of the day, child, you was being messy. You was being messy. You brought it up to create a storyline to be messy. That's it. That's all. Like, all of this playing with words and trying to, well, I didn't say it because of this, and you were being so defensive, and your energy was this, and actually, whatever. Y'all did it to be messy, and Wendy responded, and y'all got what the fuck y'all got. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the rumors. I'm sick of all of it. And then later on in the episode, in the reunion, when the husbands came out, they brought it up again to ask Eddie what he felt about it and how he felt about it. And then Wendy talking about something. Well, Eddie is always like the glass is half full. It's just not really bothering him that much. It's not that big of a deal to him. The girl, why are we doing all this? And Ashley brought up a good point too. Ashley said, listen, this is sort of par for the course. All of us have had things said about us and our relationships, whether they were true or not. It is what it is. It's happening to all of us. It's going to happen. If it ain't happened to you yet, it's going to happen to you. And at a certain point, girl, I felt like in this episode, Wendy was just doing a lot. Like, I just felt like Wendy was doing a lot in this episode. But anyway, so that was that, because I'm done with that. I can't. I'm done with that. Then they got to talking about Robin and her package. Child, listen. Robin said she made all this money on her hats, that she paid off her taxes with her hat money. She put the down payment down. And notice she said on her house. She didn't say our house. She said, I put the down payment on my house. She didn't say our house. She said my house. I'm just saying, that might not be a big thing. It might be a little thing. But I did peep it. I noticed it. That's all I'm saying. She said that the house is done and they are all moved in. Okay? She said that when Juan walked away, Juan came back. When he drove away on the season finale, she said Juan came back. Oh, back to the hats thing for a second. Now listen. I don't know where you made all this money off them hats, Robin. because your hats have been out of stock and sold out all season. Ain't nobody bought no hats in the last 10 weeks or however many weeks this show been running, because we check every week on the Whether You Like It or Not panel. We check every week. Sakina does a whole check every week on the website. And the closest that we came prior to last week was that you could pre-order. Now, I don't know when you made all this hat money. Anyway, moving on. Of course, she defended Juan, with Juan making... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me put a pin in that. Wendy also bought some more show and tell. She bought her phone records to prove that Giselle... that she hadn't talked to Giselle, that Giselle... Child, it was a lie. Even Andy was like, girl, this don't mean nothing. Like, this don't mean nothing. But whatever. It was a lot. Like, you didn't print it out your damn phone bill. Girl, stop it. I ain't seen a paper phone bill in 10 years. If you don't go sit your... And she talking about something because my husband is an attorney. Girl, you don't need to have an attorney to be able to print out your phone bill. You know how easy it is to print out a damn phone bill? Girl, if you need an attorney to figure out how to print out your phone bill, Wendy, I'm going to question Johns Hopkins or whoever gave you your PhD. If you got to do... Girl, it is 3 clicks. And if it ain't available on the website, it's a phone call. Again, I just felt like she was doing a lot. Moving on. That's what I was saying. Of course, she defended Juan. She said Juan came back. Now, personally, 2 things happened. Either 1, Robin lied and Juan ass ain't never come back that day. Or 2, Juan came back after the cameras left. Because we know Juan already don't like being on camera. And we know he don't like feeling like he's being embarrassed or put on the spot. So he might have waited until he knew the cameras was gone and came back. But I don't know, Robert. I don't know. But she said that she's not going to stop bringing up what, the whole baby thing with him, because he needs to really understand how bad it was, and to the extreme and to the extent. Now, this is how I feel about it. Listen, my thing is this. If you're going to forgive, you're going to have to move on. You can't keep throwing it in that man's face, especially since you said that you've agreed to try having a baby with him, and you said you gave him till you were 43 and you 42, which means you done gave him at least a whole year. At least a whole year to try to make something happen. So what you need to do is that tells me you over it, right? Because you can't keep bringing it up if you telling me that you giving us a chance to have a baby. You can't keep bringing that shit up. That's just how I feel about it. Anyway, the husbands came out, and just as the husbands were coming out, coincidentally, Candace's mom calls, and Candace answers the phone. Now, this is what I find to be interesting. I refuse to believe that that's the first person that has ever called somebody while they were filming the reunion. Yet, not only was Candace's phone loud enough for us to hear it vibrating, but she answered the phone. And they proceeded to have a whole conversation with her mama down to the reunion. Now, of course, once Candace said, this is my mom, and it was right after a break, you know what I'm saying? And of course, once she said, that's my mama calling, Andy was like, answer it, because he messy as hell. But my thing is this. Of course, her mama defended what she said. And she tried to act like it wasn't a big deal. She didn't know Chris was sitting there. And so Andy was like, well, have you apologized to Chris yet? And she was like, no, not yet. Well, are you going to apologize to him? Anyway. So the guys are out there. They addressed the Chris mom, husband just situation. He said, y'all really took that. Y'all really were way left with it. Like, at the end of the day, I was a supportive husband who had my wife's back. Like, my wife does have a manager. Okay, y'all really did too much with that. Okay, y'all really took it to the left. Y'all gonna stop acting like I'm some old bum that didn't have nothing and wasn't nothing before I met Candace. I ain't never quit a job in my life. I've had jobs, I guess he been fired, I guess is what he was saying. But he said he ain't never quit a job in his life, and y'all act like I don't have nothing. He said, when I was dating Candace wanted me to move in with her. I had a whole house that I was paying bills at. And so, yes, I was paying my mortgage or rent. I think he said rent, because I was like, well, you must not have owned that house if you was paying rent, because I pay a mortgage, because I'm paying for this house. I'm paying off this house, okay? I don't pay no rent. I pay a mortgage, okay? Anyway. And I was helping Candace with her bills. He said, but what I wasn't going to do was pay for an investment property that Candace and her mama owned until we were fully married. That didn't make no sense to me. I don't give a damn what it is. First of all, it's not an investment property if y'all was living in it. It ain't an investment property because you know why I want an investment property? Because when Candace moved out, they didn't rent it out. They sold it. That was Candace's house that her mama bought her. And it was someplace that her mama came, when her mama came to visit, she stayed there instead of getting a hotel. And it worked fine until Candace got a man. And then it became two's company and three's a crowd type of situation. But for you to say that was your reason for feeling like you didn't have to help pay the bills over there, that didn't make no damn sense to me. And it didn't make no sense to nobody else because all of them was looking crazy too. Then they brought up the G situation. And I found it to be so interesting. They brought up how G was harassing Ashley. Ashley fixed her, y'all. Ashley actually fixed her mouth to say the difference between, because Andy brought up Michael and how Michael had bad behavior in the past, but why Ashley act like what G did was so wrong. She actually fixed her mouth to say, well, Michael has never done anything overtly sexual to anybody here. Andy was like, well, he did offer to suck Ron's dick. That's sexual. And Ashley was like, oh my gosh. So then Ashley starts making all these excuses for, Ashley started making all these excuses for him, talking about some, well, I mean, he don't even remember saying it. I mean, are y'all sure he said it? I mean, it was just a joke. It doesn't matter. You know what sexual harassment is? Sexual harassment can be people making jokes that are inappropriate and make you feel uncomfortable in a sexual way. It could be a joke to me, but to you it's not. So again, I don't understand how you can blow that off. Now, don't get me wrong. I think both of them have behaved badly. I think G has behaved badly, and I also think that Michael has behaved badly. And once again, we get this biased bullshit where if you cool with somebody, you feel one way, but if you're not cool with somebody, you feel another way. Karen said that she wasn't offended by what G was doing because she knew G, and her and G had built some sort of a rapport in a relationship. So when he licked his tongue out of her, she ain't taking no kind of way. Giselle on the other couch talking about she was offended by G because she did know Michael. But then shady ass Bravo gave us the whole flashback of Giselle talking about Michael and Michael pitching people on the butt and how inappropriate and how creepy it was. So again, the hypocrisy of it all. When you cool with somebody, then you find excuses for it, for bad behavior. But when you're not cool with them, now all of a sudden it's not cool no more. I can't. I just can't. Anyway, what else did we talk? We asked about, that's when they asked about the whole Eddie situation. Then they brought up Mia's tweets accusing Chris of wanting to sleep with her. She said it was just a joke. And Wendy once again has a whole meltdown moment about, Wendy, Mia doing too much and she worried about everybody else's husbands and this and this and this and that. When it really wasn't about her. It wasn't about her. It didn't have nothing to do with her. That was between Mia, Candace, and Chris. I don't know how you got in that, Wendy, and especially to the extreme in which you got into it. But anyway, it was a lot. It was a whole lot. They asked about Kern in Surrey County. She said they got Wi-Fi now. They asked about when Ray gave that whole shout out at when she was being inducted or whatever, and he was saying how he doesn't think that Karen publicizes herself enough. She doesn't take advantage of these opportunities, and he's proud of her, and he just wanted, people to know what she got going on. And that's when Chris was like, well, what's the difference between that and what I do for Candace? Like, I just have her back. I just support her. I just put it out there. Whatever, boy. Anyway, neither here nor there. And again, here go Giselle. Well, that's because they built that up. I mean, Karen was sort of, was there for Ray for 20 years, and now it's Ray's turn. And it's just the timing of it. It ain't whatever, y'all. Y'all find a way to defend what y'all want to defend. And of course they asked Chris again about the whole Candace situation with her mama. Yes, they did. I said they asked Eddie, but that whatever. They did bring up the fact that Michael asked don't never come to no reunions no more. They said he always conveniently gets sick around the reunion. They brought it back up that Juan wasn't there. And of course, Robin was like, I got to defend Robin. I hate it when y'all put me in this position. But yes, does Robin not want to come? Of course, Robin. What's his name? Juan not want to come? Of course, Juan don't want to come to the damn reunion. But he does have a legitimate reason for not coming. His job is a little bit different. Like, he's a coach. He can't really miss a game to go film a reunion. That ain't a good look. And he's at a small college, so he don't have a whole staff. Like, when it's recruiting and when it's time to do other things, he ain't got time for all that. Now, is it a convenient excuse for him not to show up? Sure it is. But at the end of the day, it's just not a reason. It just is what it is. They talked about Michael and Chris making up, being cool again. And, Ashley was like, well, in defense of Michael, his beef really isn't with, his beef isn't really with Chris as much as it's with Candace, but out of respect for, just keeping everything between men, he doesn't really go after Candace. He kind of takes it out on Chris. And Chris, he heard it, he understood it, he received it, he was like, yeah, and if he wants to be cool, we can be cool. If not, it is what it is, Okay, kind of moved on. We see Andy talking to Nicki Minaj during one of the breaks. She's getting herself together. She's getting in her glam. And then at the very end, we see her come down. Of course, the ladies are shocked and surprised and happy to see her. And she gives them the old butter up. Andy, left the stage. He wasn't even there at all. He was off to the stage. She sat in Andy's chair. She had her whole pictures there. Her questions, she said the questions were from her and the Barbs, honey. And she was like, I want y'all to know that, I love all of y'all and I respect all of y'all or I wouldn't be here. I was like, yep, she buttering y'all up. She about to go in for the kill. And baby, she started off coming for them, okay? I feel like they're going to replay everything she said because it was really just the last 5 or 10 minutes of the episode where they had the Nicki Minaj show. I guess all next episode is going to be the Nicki Minaj show, but she is already coming for them. She started with Ashley, and while Ashley brought her happy ass down to Williamsburg just to stir up messes and take her happy ass back home, honey. And baby, that was pretty much it, y'all. Next week is the finale with Nicki Minaj, and so I'm sure we're going to get into it because it looks like she kind of digs into their asses a little bit. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Peace.